Traditions and practices of burial have changed. In recent times, there's been a rise in what's called natural or green burials, burial without a coffin or casket. The remains go into a biodegradable container, are buried, and quickly decompose.
Some cultures believe that the body should be returned to the earth, and natural burials are a pathway to that return.
And it's not only about the container. No casket often means no preservatives or embalming fluids, no tombs or concrete tomb liners, and no dressing the deceased in clothing made of non-biodegradable fabrics. It's a chance to be eco-friendly even in death. All of this means the body will decay faster, but not as fast as you might think. The early stages of decomposition, rigor mortis, bloating, and putrefaction, happen within the first few days to months. After that, it's a gradual process no matter what, assuming animals don't get to the body to pick it clean. According to Live Science, a human body in a green grave is expected to skeletonize within 5 years. This may come as a shock, but embalming and casket burials don't prevent the human body from decaying after death. Decomposition kicks in fast, within 4 minutes after death. Embalming slows down that process, but it can't be stopped.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
According to Titan Casket, a body that's embalmed, sealed in a casket, and buried in a dry environment will slowly decompose down to bones, teeth, and hair over 10 to 15 years.
Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust.
The material of a coffin and its lining could dry out the body and allow it to mummify, preserving it longer still. But no matter how long you try to stave it off, decomposition is going to happen. The body will do what it's always done. There are plenty of positives to going with a natural burial over the traditional method. Mourners still get the ceremony of laying a loved one to rest with the body intact, but anyone committed to environmentalism and good stewardship of the land will have their needs met as well. For those whose spirituality is rooted in nature, no pun intended, green burial may even result in a deeper, more meaningful funeral. And then there are the practical considerations. Funerals are enormously expensive. According to the National Funeral Directors Association, the average cost of a funeral, including coffin, embalming, family visitation, and burial, comes to almost $8,000.
Well, time for the dreaded check!
By contrast, the Lincoln Heritage Funeral Advantage estimates the cost of a green burial as ranging between $1,000 and $4,000. The key word there, however, is burial. Getting the body to the burial plot, the ceremony, and anything else the bereaved want costs extra. Still, if a green burial is performed outside of a religious or other institutional tradition, the cost will likely come in at under $7,000. But before you commit to going out that way, you'll want to check the legal and regulatory situation in your area. It turns out that green burials aren't always welcome. The federal government doesn't regulate natural burials in the U.S., and there are no state mandates requiring a coffin as a prerequisite for having a burial. But 4 states, California, Georgia, Maryland, and Washington, require a grave to be at least 3 feet deep, and at a certain degree of distance from a water source, depending on the location. Not to mention that not all funeral homes are equipped to facilitate green burials, and each cemetery has its own rules for what they will and will not allow on their grounds. Green or not, all burials are becoming a thing of the past. By mid-century, it's anticipated that over 80% of deceased persons will be cremated rather than buried.